Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching. First here on the channel, got a zero turn riding mower we're going to try and save here. This is kind of the big ticket in the lot of three mowers. One's a Bilt Pony, one's a GT6000 Craftsman, an older one, and this Bilt XP Mustang zero turn. 50-inch deck, 25 horsepower, Kohler Courage, twin cylinder. Pretty good overall. The guy said that it runs, it needs a muffler, and it needs a deck belt. And the reason why it needs a deck belt is because for some reason after an extended period of use it actually snaps the belt. You can see the residual of that belt on there. So I've got to figure out what's causing it to hang up. It might simply just be a bunch of crud in the deck that just needs to be cleaned out. It also could be a pulley that is trying to seize up on me. So we'll see whichever one it is, and if it's a spindle, I have a spindle here for this exact lawnmower thanks to max speeding rods. So we'll see what's causing that. But let me give you a walk around and then we'll see if we can get it running, and then we'll work on the muffler and the deck belt. Let's get started. Alright guys, let me give you a walk around of this thing real quick. Like I said, 50-inch Bilt zero turn. Looks like the deck is a little lopsided. I'll definitely have to align the deck on it some. Almost like one of the hangers has gone bad. So again, we got to figure out the deck problem. That's a little bit later. We got to get it running first. This guy had a bunch of dogs, and so it looks like the dogs chewed up most of the knobs and such, including the throttle knob. So that's kind of a shame. The wrong gas cap is on it, however it still works, I guess. It's got a Craftsman gas cap. It needs like one of them quarter turn locking gas caps. As you can see, it's got the screw on, and this is like the little just snap on type, but if you push it down it works just fine. So thing is, I've got enough battery. I tried to crank it the other day, and like I said, a Kohler Courage 25 on it, the twin cylinder. They're not too bad of an engine. They run for a decent, good, I don't know if they call it a commercial engine, but it's a good fit for this mower, so to speak. I didn't quite have the safety switch down correctly. I think it's got 200 and some hours. I got to figure it out once I get it running, because it only shows the voltage because the battery's a little low right now. But this, you know, there's so many safety switches on this thing that you're always fighting. So let me see if I can get it started. It did try to turn over just a second ago. Doesn't want to go. If it does kick over, it will be extremely loud, so be prepared for that. Could just be that there's not a lot of gas in it. I saw gas in it, but it may not be pulling it up through there, or it could have the carburetor clogged. Either one. try it again. I'm going to spare my neighbors on that one. Wow, that thing is loud. Because it doesn't have any mufflers on it. So it's just spewing pipes everywhere. That thing started right up whenever I gave it a little bit of encouragement, so to speak. I wonder if the choke is working on it. Looks like it. Everything back here is a little rusted. I think what happened is, from what I can tell, the muffler has rotted through the deck, because this is pretty soft here. From what, I don't know why it's soft back here, but I guess it accumulates grass and gets wet over time. So, man, that thing is loud though. So again, bless me, I am sorry. What I'm thinking about doing, so I've got, you know, the pipes over here, and where they mount to on this plate, I'm thinking about, well, let's see, because it mounts onto that plate, and that mounts onto this. So I'm wondering if I could find what's not a soft spot up here, which is hardly any area, and find a muffler here. I got plenty of mufflers. It's just I think the way that this discharges is a little bit different, because I think it discharges, well, no, it discharges out the side. I know I got some mufflers here. I might see if I can find one that will fit onto this backing plate back here. And see what I can do with it. So it's almost like somebody, I don't know. Let me do a little bit of brainstorming and figure it out. Obviously we got the mower running. That was easy. I knew it would run. Air filter looks pretty bad, so I'll have to order an air filter with it along with the yeah, I'll have to order an air filter with it along with the deck belt. But I want to figure out this muffler situation. That way we can at least run it and drive it around without blowing out the eardrums of my neighbors. So we've got to be respectful of them. They don't mind me doing the work because I work for them. But let me figure out this muffler situation, then I will continue on with this repair. Alright y'all, pardon the wind. I just got this thing where it is currently. Probably just need to lube that up too for the choke. I think that may be why it wasn't trying, why it didn't want to start. But so I got the deal going on here is I got the pipes are starting to rust out, especially this one on the left side. One on the right seems to be okay. I can probably take a little bit off right there. I can probably get by with taking a little bit off right here and just welding mufflers to them. But in terms of a mount, I went ahead and took the mount off for right now. I mean, either way it was gonna have to come off. I don't know if I'll put it back on or not. I don't know if I'm gonna have to buy pipes for this thing. Like I said, we'll have to see what we got and see what we can manage here. What I might do is take off the drive from its roll around mode and just drive it around a little bit. I just hate to drive it with how loud it is, but I do need to get it to where I can drive it around a little bit. So let me lower this. Let me show you where these are so that if you need to move these freely, you can. The drives are right here. You just have to pull them out and push them back in order to re-engage them, and that's on the same. That's on both sides. So what I might do, God, I hate this thing. It's loud as woo, but we're gonna see. We're just gonna ride it up and down a little bit. I just want to make sure that everything runs correctly on it, and that the drives work, because if the drives don't work, then I'm not interested in putting a hydrostatic on it, especially with the condition of how the back is right there with the rust. So let's see if it'll start back up for us. Okay, driving okay. Thing is just loud as everything. So the drive's okay. The sticks are a little on the loose side just from use. They're not terrible. They kind of, this one's a little on the loose side. I don't know exactly if it's just the linkage is a little worn on it. So it's okay though. Again, those two mowers on the truck are gonna make the purchase price of this. So what I might do, let's check the pulleys while we're here, because I just feel like one of these spindles is getting, one of these pulleys is getting locked up. That one's, they're all spinning freely from what I can tell. It's something that's coming with it breaking the belt like that. It's something that's causing a sudden stop. I'm not sure exactly what it could be, because these pulleys all seem to be in good working order. And how about the one in the front? I already tested that one, didn't I? Yeah, they're turning great. So I wonder, let's check under the deck. Sorry if the camera's really shaky. I don't know if I have a bent blade or, well, the blades are getting a little wore out, but you see the gators are kind of leaving on it. I don't see any crazy bent blades or anything like that. Honestly, I think I'm just going to take this deck off and give it a really, really good cleaning. Looks like it's just a 3-point harness or a 3-point deck to get off, so that won't be hard at all to do. Like I said, I'm going to take the deck off, give it a good cleaning, and see what happens. It is running, it is driving, which is a good thing. So I guess we gotta wait on some parts. Order a couple of mufflers, see what I can do with that. And order a deck belt. We'll get this thing cleaned up though, and whatnot. Like I said, I don't really want to run it or drive it around too much because it is super loud, and I live in a residential area, and I like to keep my neighbors on the good side. Like I said, everything else looks good on it though. So this will be tabled until I get those parts, and then once I get those parts, we'll be cruising on with it, with this thing. Alright guys, I've got the parts on order for this thing. I looked up, well, let me get in front of the camera. I'll tell you what I looked up as possible issues to this. One of them was dull blades, to where it's stressing the deck belt out to the point where it gets so tight and stressed that it breaks. Obviously another one was bad pulleys. Another one was lots of grass buildup. So I think that this has, well, it at least has grass buildup, one. Two, the blades are not in the best shape, so I'm fairly certain that those blades are dull. Yeah, they're dull. They're losing their edge and losing their lift. So I do have new blades on the way. I have new deck belts on the way. I bought a 2-pack while I was at it. And I got something else coming. I can't remember it right now. But while I'm thinking about it, let me show you what I'm going to do next. You know, I was talking about figuring out an exhaust situation. The exhaust pipes are about the mufflers are about 10, 12 bucks a piece, and then pipes even more than that. I know this muffler's a little rusted, but what I was able to do was shove it back onto the original pipes, and I'm just going to get in there and weld this thing up. I don't know like if I can put the plate back on it or not because of the way that it is formed, but it is above the PTO, and this right here is going to stop anything from backing into it. I don't understand why it's so soft back here. I don't get why. I guess there's some grass that blows around, and maybe it's where it's set outside a little bit. But so that's what I'm going to do. I think that's my best option given what I have here. These mowers are loud. My dad has had 2 of them, and both of them were very loud whenever he owned them, with these mufflers and stuff on it. So it's just a matter of like quieting the roar, so to speak. It's like, keep it to a dull roar, children. Well, that's what this. I mean, look at I don't understand why it's like that, unless it's just a whole grass situation. I did check around the mounting bolts. The way that this engine is mounted, it should still be safe. It's not vibrating like crazy or anything. Thankfully, it's a V-twin, so it's not going to be too hard on the frame. But I'm going to take my welder, and I'm just going to weld that bad boy on to the pipe there. And hopefully, that will keep the muffler where it needs to be. So let me do that. Like I said, I don't show my welding jobs because I'm not very good. But let me just see what I can do here and see what we can manage with this thing. I think we'll be okay with this muffler, considering the condition, especially this rust back here in the back. I don't want to put a ton of money into it. And so if I can make do with this, then I'll take it. Let me weld it. Got the parts coming. Blades, belt, and air filter. And I'll get back to you when those parts come in. Alright guys, let me give you the, I guess the finished weld job down here. Don't judge, but we have done as good as we could. I can't really get in the middle over here just because it's got a little bit of play, but if I try and pull it off, it ain't coming off. So plus this is not supposed to design to fit 100% snug. So I am going to give it some time, some drive time. I don't know if I can put like a little shield on the back of the mower in order to guard the muffler, but so this right here I guess guarded the muffler previously. You can see it's got the pipe inlets, and the problem was, number one, the mount rusted on the top. Number two, did it really provide that much protection for the muffler? I mean, it is pretty hard steel, but wouldn't the muffler have stuck out right about right here anyways? So if you back into something hard enough, you're going to hit it anyways. So while I'm here, let's crank it up and see how loud it is. Like I said, these mowers for some reason are loud regardless. It's like my dad had a Cub Cadet like this, and it was loud from day one. So we may not see it. I think the air filter's too stopped up. Okay. Plan B. Might have flooded it, honestly. Pretty loud. Oh, I got the drive disengaged. Hold on. Oh, stupid me. Didn't set the park brake. You can hear it though. I mean, it's a little quieter. That muffler ain't doing much, but it's maybe just a tinge louder than, or a tinge quieter than what it was, but at least it's got a muffler on it. Like I said, these things right here run loud anyways. If you've got one, you know what I mean. My dad took my Husqvarna and he's like, my gosh, this thing's quiet compared to the zero turn he had like this. little bit better when you get it out here. Still kind of loud, so. It's not doing any weird backfiring thing. It's just a little hard to start when cold, but I think it's because it's got some old gas in it. I'm going to put some new gas in it. Also, one other thing I'm going to do, these right here are way forward, and so you feel like you're like about to push yourself off the mower. I'm just going to take a couple of 7/16 or 1/2 inch and just take those and pull those back to make those a little bit closer to my body. Because I'm not a very large person, so I don't need them that I don't need them out in front of me to fit on the mower. Yeah, so now we wait on parts, and really the main focus next is on the deck, so we'll get to that next after I give it a good clean and a good wash, because it really needs it. Alright, y'all, I wanted to show you this before I took it and blew it all off. But I wanted to show you that this is a likely cause of why this belt was breaking. So there's probably a lot of stress going on with this deck because of the amount of grass that's caked up back here. And these are the, all I did was take 3 bolts, and you just take off the cover, and this is how much grass was back here. There's a bunch of grass under the deck too that I need to clean out, and on the other side. So I think the likely cause of these belts continuing to break was because of all of this grass, and so it doesn't allow the belt to vent and stay cool. This also has the it turns off when you go backwards deal, and then turns back on when you go forwards. So you've got that going on, and you've also got dull blades and a lot of grass caked up under the deck. So I think that I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with the deck. I didn't see where the blades were wearing weird or anything like that. And the pulleys, that pulley's a little loud. I have I have pulleys to replace all this with, so that's not a big deal. I don't know if we can look under the deck very well, but I don't know if you can see all the grass and stuff caked. I believe it's grass. I need to get down here with y'all. All this stuff caked under the deck too. You can see kind of the blades are getting a little bit dull and losing a little bit of their lift. So I think I got one that's slightly bent in the middle there too. So yeah, I think that's what this is. Like I said, I wanted to show you that before I blew it off. And the next stage of this mower is to clean it. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. And then we'll continue with the deck, putting the pulleys on. Alright, y'all, I think taking the deck off of this thing is going to be as easy as it looks. We'll see. But it should just be this mount right here. You have this slider bracket in the front, and there's the same mount on the other side. Right there. I should just be able to pull all that out and be good to go. You can see a little bit of rust on the deck. I'll hit it with some of that quick color paint just to make it look a little bit better. Might do that on the back fender as well, where it's rusted a little bit, just to make it look a little bit better. I'll lower the deck, and we'll just slide this thing out. when the deck's hardly been off, if ever, makes the pins hard to get out, that's for sure. So let me grab some pliers. There we go. Now I should just be able to slide it forward off of this front bracket. I can. Just take that, pull it up as I slide it out. Yeah, that was easy. Super easy. So this is your, looks like this is your tensioner pulley right here. You can take the spring off in order to change the belt on it. So we will do that. I am going to take it out here and hit it with some paint, and I'll route the deck, or route the belt, show you how that's routed. We'll look under the deck at the blades, and then we'll change the blades out too, and then we'll put it all back together, and hopefully we'll have a running and cutting zero turn. Alright y'all, we'll go ahead and work on this. I've already taken one of the nuts off to see if it was easy. You can see the blades are starting to get a little chewed up. They're gator blades, as is compared to these new blades, which look like they're a lot meatier anyways, which is good. So we'll get the other two off. So far I like it because a lot of times these blade nuts will get caught on the spindles, and they won't come off. But have a good look here, or had good luck here now that I've done it. Put those nuts aside real quick. We're just going to take and scrape the deck off. Trying to get all the surface scrapes off. But you know, it's not terrible under here. Just think a combination of factors is what messed this up. Well, for how much grass was actually physically on the deck, it's not too bad under here. Happy to see that the deck has not rotted through nor has any soft spots in it, so that's a good thing. I'll get this grass off. Let me get the blades off of here real quick. Just dump this grass out. enough, when I turn it back over, it'll dump the rest of it out. Especially when I engage the blades. So now we'll put the blades on. They have the indented side up there. Make sure you get them nice and tight with the impact. Number 2. These spindles look good too. So, number 3 as well. Got a little bit of stuff crammed up in there, but it's still spinning freely. I'm sure that's not where it was locking up. Okay. So that looks good. The next thing I'm going to do is so on the bottom of these are some grease fittings. I'll show them to you and then I'll do it off the camera so it'll save a little time on the video. Grease fittings down here. We're going to see if we can grease the spindles some, help them stay lubed and move more freely. And so they look like they're moving pretty well. Like I said, I'll grease them up a little bit and make sure they're moving more freely. And then we'll get around to changing out all of the pulleys. That's a very easy job. I'll show you how to do one, and then I'll do the other 2 off camera. And then we'll put the belt on. Pardon the noise, I do have a mower running, I guess trying to purge some water out. But this is easy, guys. 9/16 on the top, 9/16 on the bottom, and they go on like this with the little spacer at the bottom. So I could use some extras of these. I just wanted to replace all the spindles on the deck while I was at it, because I didn't want to leave any stone unturned, so to speak. One thing I did notice is that these 2 spindles here are new and that one's not. So I think these spindles have been replaced since the mower has been bought. That one, I mean, it's still spinning fine, you see. Actually spins marginally better than the other 2, honestly. So let me get this mower deck back on. I'll lube those up right there so that they're not as tight to get back on, and then we'll figure out this thing when it comes to seeing if it'll cut for us. Alright, deck's back on. It was a tight fit to get the mounts back on properly, but we got it. So this is your tensioner pulley, right? Here's the belt routing as well. So we've got, it comes from the PTO to that pulley, around this pulley, to that pulley, around that pulley, to the front spindle, over to the side spindle, over to the 3rd pulley on that side, back to the PTO clutch. So that's how it goes. Now, what I've got to do is get on this side of the mower and see if I can pull this tensioner pulley back to where it fits over this groove. So let me do that, maybe with some pliers. I'll do that off camera I'll show you the end result of what you need to do. And then we'll give this thing a test run. I hope we're going to be alright with this thing, with all the new blades and stuff and all the work we put into this. We'll make sure the deck is level as well. Your leveler on all the MTD decks like this is right here. You just loosen that bolt, then you can just roll it along that and see what you can do when it comes to getting the deck level. I think it's pretty level from what I can tell, though. I'll make sure the tires and everything's all aired up. That hub, and this hub's a little bit worn, but it's still doing okay. Make sure that's greased, this is greased, and other greasable parts while I'm at it. Alright guys, I wanted to share with you how I got the spring on. So I took some mechanics wire, doubled it up, hooked it around this, and just wrapped it around a little bit. Did the same thing on the other side, took a pair of pliers and got it on there. So now I'm just going to take the residual and cut it. Might just take it right there. That's okay, we'll leave a little bit there. Don't have any plans to take this off myself anymore. But that's that. What I want to do now, see how level it is. This is the way that I level things. So I've got it in my garage, which is level ground, thankfully. A lot of folks don't have that luxury. But you can still get it pretty close if you do this. So I raise it up to the highest setting, take a couple of these oil filters and put them under the deck. Then what I do is I measure the height on each side. In relation to where the blades are. These are just a hair off the top. So in terms of side height, they're fine, which is good. Now I put them in the front, like so, and measure where the blades are in the front. See if they're even on both sides there as well, to make sure that this bracket in the front hasn't bent around or anything. Usually they're the same though. Yeah, they're very close, which is good. Even though the deck on this one appears lower on the left side, it is where it needs to be. So let me grease everything up, and all the tires are holding good air. And I'll leave the covers off for right now, because I want to make sure that the belt's operating like it should, and then we'll go cutting with it, see what happens, and then we'll be about done with this thing. All right, y'all. Let me see if I can get this thing cranked up and out here, and we'll test this thing out. good so far. Come for a ride with me. Alright, let's see what it'll do here. Deck's very quiet. Let's see if it disengages one. Yep. And then it should re-engage. Okay. So far. It's also running better now too. Let's see. I don't see any crazy Bilt wear. The other Bilt didn't wear it badly either, so I think we'll be all right. What I want to do is I do want to take it around and do a round. I mean, my front yard needs to be cut, so I'll do a round in the front yard with it, see if it'll work. And seems like it's all right. Well, the gas cap's not 100% the right one, but it works. And we got a deck belt on. Deck's cutting evenly, and I think it's time to cruise. So I'll see y'all in a few minutes. I'll let you know. I'm going to cut with the deck covers off for right now. I'll put them back on before I sell the mower, but I just want to see, because they're not there to protect the spindles, they're there to protect the person. And what happens is these things get just completely, they don't act as guides on this mower because it's a PTO and the belt's tight all the time, but they act as, like I said, they just act as a guard for the person riding the mower. And they honestly, I think they do more harm than good, but we'll see. I'm gonna cut with it with these new blades. It seems like it's got good lift, so we'll see what happens with it, and I'll catch up with y'all in just a second once I finish up with this. Alright y'all, so I've got this, I cut the front yard with it. It did fine. Really nothing really to speak of, apart from I noticed that the left side is a little bit not quite as strong of a drive as the right side, but I don't know if that's something that could be adjusted or not. Kind of looks like it is, so I might adjust that drive a little bit, get it to where it needs to be, and we should be good on that front. I guess the other thing is I've just got to just look at all the grass that got caked up just from cutting the front yard, and you can see where it would get all caked up around. The belt's decently hot, but you can see where the wear is good, so that's good. You can see all the grass and stuff caked up. I don't necessarily like zero turns much. because I feel like they tear up the yard, especially these low grade zero turns, and you slide a tire around or something like that. So, and then you get all this grass caked up. The welded decks are a lot better than these fab decks here, or than these stamp decks when it comes to keeping the grass away from everything. But it did great. Again, I'm going to adjust the hydro a little bit, which it appears that all I have to do for that is loosen that nut up there maybe. And I got to twist it a little bit. Although when it comes to rest, it seems like it's alright. It seems like it's a little forward, so maybe I can get it to where it's further back and we'll be alright. But that's the one minor thing I want to do, and then this will be done. So let me do that. I'll go ahead, for the purposes of selling it and safety, I'll put the blade guards back on it too, and then I'll give you all a final look and test. Alright guys, I'm going to go about trying to adjust this, I guess this arm for the transmission. So I looked on both sides, and it looks like this one is not pulling forward as far as the one on the right whenever you engage the hydros, because it's not pulling as hard. It's not, I don't think it's going out, I just think it's a little bit out of adjustment. So here's what I'm going to try and do here. I'm going to, let me check something real quick. Okay. I saw a hole here, and I was thinking that somebody may have worked on this and didn't put it back in the right hole, but I was wrong. It is in the correct hole. We have, I believe it's a 9/16. It is. We'll get this impact on it. If I can. Just enough room, I hope. It is. I may need the big boy though, we'll see. And the 9/16 on the back. There we go. Well, thought I had it. There we go. It's on there a little bit tighter than I thought. Let me get the big impact. I'll be right back. Alright. Big impact did the trick. So let's take this nut off. We got the bolt here. What else do we have? You take the bolt off. There's a little bit of a little ball bearing, it looks like, which is kind of neat. So it looks like all I got to do is tighten this thing up. Is that accurate? Let me see what I can do here. I'll grab a little lube and some pliers. It looks like I have enough room to turn it. I probably just need to turn it a few threads, not too much. So let's see what we can do here. Obviously this has been subjected to a little bit of rust, but oh yeah. So it's turning up top. It's turning up top where there is a nut. So let me take, I'm sorry if I was in the way there. Let me take that, and now take these pliers and see what I can do. Still wants to try to turn up top. feel like if I could get it started down here, it'd be all right. If I'm in the way, I'm sorry. Oh, crud. Okay, here's what I might do then. Because I just take off the see what I can do. So I push it all the way forward. How hard will it be to get that one off? Not too bad, I don't think. So what I'm looking at now is getting this bolt off right here, if you can see that one. So that means I need to put a wrench down through there, because I'm battling up against this linkage here, unless I move it over here, but still I'm battling it. So let me see. Let me try one more time before I go through that whole process. Let me see if I can do something. I'm sure there's a better way, but I guess I'm trying to figure it out for myself. There we go. So let me show you what I'm doing. I'm loosening this nut up top here now. So I got it kind of loose. Now I loosen the nut up top some, and I'm going to adjust a little bit. Okay, so that's probably good. And now I'm just going to twist this tight again. I'm just going to do that. Hopefully I wasn't in the way that whole time, and see if that linkage will help when it comes to getting it in the right area. Alright guys, let me show y'all when I pull this back. Originally it was only going about right there, and now when I put it all the way forward, it's going all the way to the little Allen keys, which is great. So what I'm going to do is get it out, move all this junk out of the way, make sure that that's what I needed to do, and if so, then I'm done with this. It's ready to go, which is awesome. So like I said, let me test drive it. Once I get it right, I'll give you all a final test, run it up and down the driveway. I'll put the covers back on it for safety reasons, and then we will be done with it. Alright y'all, as soon as I thought I was done, I sound like I'm 13 years old, I took it up and down, and the muffler came off. So my little weld job didn't work, unfortunately. It's a hard place to get down there. As you can see, some of the pipes are starting to get a little compromised too. So what I did is I took the bracket that I originally had on here, put it back on, drilled a couple of new holes, put a couple of spacer, just a couple of pieces of sheet metal. I wish I had a sheet metal that could go across that entire thing, because this right here is getting really soft. Luckily it hasn't translated all the way back to where the engine's mounted, but it's getting, like I said, it's getting really soft right in this area where the exhaust was mounted. And so and there's no amount of paint or bed liner that's going to fix that. I mean, it's just flaking off like that, unfortunately. But that should, because I can press down on it, it's not going anywhere. So as long as whoever has this doesn't like keep it out in the rain and actually, you know, blows it off after each use, this will probably suffice for a while. This muffler, like I said, is not in the best shape. But what I can do, I can grab some bolts here that will tap into these holes, and that will allow me to screw it into that backing plate. Can't really show it very well on camera, but that should fix our issue with the muffler once and for all. It's a wonder that I cut my entire yard with it and this thing didn't fall off, but I drove it up the driveway and it did. Hydro, what I showed y'all on camera with the hydro, fixed the levers. This left hydro may be a little out of adjustment, but it is perfect going forward. Going back, it's a little bit biased to the right side, but I'd rather it be synced going forward than synced going backwards. So let me put this on. I'll give y'all a final look, final test. Put a little bit of air in a couple of these tires to get everything situated and working. Put the covers back on, and we will be good on this mower. I'm excited, y'all. So a lot of projects finally coming together in a short amount of time, including that one. So that's exciting too. All right, guys, it is complete. Like I said, I put these safety covers back on just because safety. I showed you what I did with the muffler, and then I just took the 4 screws and put them in this muffler and mounted it back on, and that's probably as good as we're going to get when it comes to that muffler, honestly. I mean, I can put some weight on it, and it's not going anywhere, so that's good. And then also, those 4 screws in the back hold the muffler on, so that's great. I'm very, very happy with how this is. So what I'll do, I'll crank it up here. It's a little slow to start when cold, but it starts up within 10 seconds. So if I remember right, these Kohlers are a little bit temperamental in terms of starting. So hydro's a little bit slow in reverse, but when I go full out, they're pretty close now. They were really far off. PTO. but it is secure now, and that's the big thing. What's really going to kill this mower is the rust it's got back here on the rear plate. But when I look at some of these for sale, all of them have it. This one's just a little bit worse than others, and I guess it must be because the wet grass gets kicked up back here or something along those lines and rusts it out. I'm not sure. This mower can't be, I don't know how to read model numbers on MTDs, which I hate. And I cannot find 2008, so we're talking about 13 years old here. Still running good, which is good. Again, very happy to have that one done. You see a lot of little residual rust and whatnot I'll have to blow off of the driveway here. But again, the thing about this one, this deck, I tell you, this is a zero turn, but it's not really I don't know, I wouldn't call it a good zero turn. It's okay. If you need to get into the zero turn market under about $3,000, then that's okay to get one of these. But the way that the deck continually, the way that that deck is on this, they use it on lawn tractors too, and the grass just continually just dumps over the deck, and if you've got thick grass, it'll dump on you while you're cutting grass. So that leaves a little to be desired. I know that the left side hydro pumps are bad about going out on these, and this one seems like it's just a little weak, but it's still pretty strong. So I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all enjoyed my first zero turn mower here, and I did too. It wasn't terribly bad to get going. We just had to help prevent the deck belts from getting eaten up. Like I said, hopefully everything that I've done to the deck will allow those belts to not get eaten up. I will sell this mower with that extra deck belt that I got, because I got a 2-pack for pretty cheap, and looks like it's holding up pretty well. Like I said, I got about a half hour on it, and it's doing fine. I think whoever owns this, if they honestly take off those safety covers on the side and blow off the deck continually and keep the blades sharpened and the spindles greased, will probably have minimal issue with the deck. Honestly, I think it was a combination of dull blades, thick grass, was overstressing the belt. From all the research that I have done, because I didn't find really anything wrong with the deck otherwise. And you can see the dogs that were at the place that this was at before I bought it, chewed a bunch of the handles off. They all still work fine. I'm not going to worry with it. Price wise, I might list it for $1,400 to $1,500 and probably take $12 to $13 ideally. I think it's worth that with the 200 and some odd hours still on it, but we'll have to see. We'll see if another zero turn comes in. I appreciate y'all watching. You can find me on social media at Ellis Mowers. I also have a website and an email now. Website's ellismowers.com. Email is ellis@ellismowers. And I appreciate y'all watching as always. Thank you for continuing to help me grow this channel into what it is and what it's hopefully going to become over the years. And I'll see y'all in the next repair. Talk to you then.